Welcome to the Split Line Off-Road Podcast.
Are you ready to go GNCC racing? Fans running to the fences, side by side. Boards gets a better line.
Oh boy, we got wheel to wheel right here, string. Oh, and Stu Baylor right behind him.
Russell gonna try to dive bomb down to the inside. No, can't get the line he wants. Duvall is in control. We open back up. Here comes Neal once again. He's going for the pass. Oh, bumping going on.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Split Line Off-Road Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rodney Cooper. With me today, as always,
Brandon Whitehair, guys. What is up?
Brandon's bringing the heat tonight.
I am.
Episode 068 coming at you. We are excited and ready to get back going tonight. We have an awesome show lined up for you. We have stellar guests coming on the line tonight, and maybe an in-studio guest.
Yeah.
Devin had some truck issues, so we're hoping that he's able to make it in at some point. But if not, we'll keep rolling anyways. We have Stuart Baylor coming on the show tonight. At the top of the show, he'll be coming on and talking all things GNCC.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. So
Always.
We're excited to have him on. And then we're also excited to be talking to Richie Nolan and Mountain State Hare Scramble Series as they're getting ready to kick off this weekend at the Sand Hill Raceway. So we're excited to talk to him about that. Before we get going too far, we have to thank our absolute awesome sponsors. First and foremost, we got to thank Guts Racing seat covers since, 1985. They've been in business, and they've been providing the best seat covers in the business when it comes to style, performance, best top of the line in the business. You got the rib seats, you got the grip seats,
The custom seats.
hanging Joel Hetrick onto the bike as he goes and wins the Daytona race.
Yeah.
People like Craig DeLong running them in the GNCC world. Top of the line seat covers. We gave one away this weekend.
We did.
For the fantasy, which is awesome. So we'll talk about that later. We got to thank Seal Savers, the first and original fork seal saver. They've been in business for 21 years. They are the ultimate seal protection technology for UTVs, ATVs, mountain bikes, trucks, dirt bikes, your palms,
Anything you want. Watch, palms, foot pegs.
And it's an affordable product and it saves you a lot for sure, and it becomes even more affordable when you use the discount code capital S and Split Line for 25%.
Heck yeah.
So definitely use that discount code and check them out. We also have Sunstar chain and sprockets manufactured from case hardened steel chromoly. For the ultimate strength, use discount code 30 to save on anything.
Oh, yeah.
Sunstar chain and sprockets, top of the line stuff. Doug Kirk and those guys are awesome, and we appreciate their support. And new to the show, brand new, off the press.
Off the press.
We have the XC Gear coming on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
So we are.
XC Gear sponsors guys like Travis Pastrana, Ryan Sipes, Grant Baylor, Jordan Ashburn. These, what is it? The Mako 360 is the top of the line bar clamp.
Yep.
You can have 360 vibration dampening technology. You have 3 color options. Did you know that, Brandon? Yeah. So you have
a couple. I didn't know what's the third one? I wonder.
Green, red, and orange.
Ooh.
And it goes in that order of stiffness to softness. So, your faster guys are running the greens, and then your guys like Brandon over here is running the orange.
I need all the softness I can get.
Yeah, exactly. So we're excited to have Lance and his wife on the everything is made by him and produced by him. And it's really cool to see a family business like that and them growing in the sport. And the XC Gear logo just looks sick. So we're excited to have it up on the wall here pretty soon.
Yep.
They also make the Hammerhead 360 mount for mountain bikes as well. So that's pretty cool. And
now you can also get these for quads, right?
Yes, I was getting ready to mention that. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I've been out of the quad game just a little bit. I figured you'd be on top of this more. But
the Mako 360, you can put on a quad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I definitely would like to have that back in the day.
Back in the day when we were using duct tape to hold things
All
together.
kinds of stuff. Man.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to be giving one of those away too soon, one of the Makos.
Nice.
So you guys better be ready for that. So we're excited and ready to have them on board. Thank you guys for joining the show. And then also, obviously, Mountain State Hare Scrambles. We're excited to announce tonight that we're going to be having a couple of guys that we're helping out thanks to Mountain State Hare Scramble Series during the Mountain State Hare Scramble Series. So, with that being said, let's get into the show. Let's get into it. So, so you want to talk about Supercross real quick?
We can. But I wanted to just throw that out there. Did you see the new AMA rule that they got coming out for all dirt bikes?
On what?
For all pro dirt bike riders have to do this.
What are you talking about?
Wrap themselves in bubble wrap. Because
they should.
Oh my gosh.
They should.
No, I'm just messing, guys.
Yeah, they should. They should wrap themselves in bubble wrap. It has been rough.
You ever
lately.
watch Bubble Boy? Like the movie Bubble Boy.
That's an old movie.
I feel like they need to like Bubble Boy up and go ride because we almost lost like half the field.
It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year when it comes to Supercross, when it comes to GNCC.
Yeah.
It's been tough on the boys.
It has, man. It has. It's crazy. Thank goodness. I don't know how all these guys are coming back. Everyone that wrecked on Saturday in Supercross, besides Dylan Ferrandez, should be back.
Yeah. And
That's
Dylan
crazy.
Ferrandez should be back soon too, because he didn't break anything.
No, just a deep bruise.
Yeah, deep bruise. So,
man, oh man, while you were watching that, I'm sorry if you haven't watched the Supercross yet, but too bad. You should already been watching that stuff by now. Dude, when everything happened, it was just like a nightmare.
One after another.
Crazy.
Brandon texts me, he goes, "What is happening?" And I just responded with everything.
Right.
Everything is actually happening right now. And I want to be the first to congratulate Eli Tomac on his second Supercross championship.
Everyone, yeah, right, right. So what kills me is like Tomac put in an awesome ride, right?
Right.
But it all got blocked because everybody else wrecked. Like, no, I mean, people are kind of saying like, man, Eli will look good, but did he really get the credit that he deserved for the ride he just put in?
I mean, but he was in the lead before everybody wrecked.
Well,
he already passed Jason Anderson.
But he did have to pass Anderson.
He already passed him before Anderson wrecked.
What I'm saying though, but I mean, like,
I know
he already.
How about
passed
Anderson's wreck? Was that kind of funny? A little bit, maybe a little bit.
Which one?
Like the second one. The second one when he just went through the rhythm section and just kind of like, okay. I mean, now that you know he's okay.
Right. So like when I was there, like, oh, we got it on replay here, and I was like, well, okay, I'm waiting for him to like fly through the air over a jump and off the track. Well, then he just slides out in the turn and
sometimes
gets up
just to hit his head the wrong way.
He's just like, okay, he gets back on his bike and like, oh, okay. Well,
he looked confused.
Yeah, it was insane, man. I don't know. It's crazy. Jet Lawrence looks amazing on the 250. What's new there, right?
Right.
He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know. Cameron McAdoo, he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked fast to the woods.
Cameron McAdoo is a victim of being in the same class as Jet Lawrence.
Yeah. Everybody is.
Everybody is. That class is unfortunate.
Can't wait till Atlanta.
Jet is crazy.
I can't wait till Atlanta because I want to see Christian Craig and Jet Lawrence go at it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch.
I want to watch it because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see that.
Yeah, I hope they both get out.
The way the season's going, hopefully we get to see that.
I want to see them both get out 1 and 2 and just get it done. But
yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah, exactly. And is that a triple crown?
Yes, I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
I'll double check.
Because that'd be great. That'd be great to see them at a triple crown, get to have 3 gate drops and actually just go at
the best of the best.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about fantasy, right?
I want to talk about that.
Let's talk about fantasy.
Right.
We have over on the Pulp MX side, man, these Seal Saver guys. I mean, what is up with you guys?
Man.
Yeah, Marty, Papa Seal Saver, took the win this weekend with 304. Big Ben Cunningham 302, Kyler Murray 276, and I was just happy to break 200 this weekend after everything was.
Dude, did those guys like go in and like cheat after they guys already finished or
maybe
what?
I guess. And then of course Mason and Marty are taking the top 2 spots in the overall right now. Mason's in first, Marty's in second. Hammer 512 is in third. So congratulations to you guys. What about over on the Rocky
The
Mountain
Rocky
side?
Mountain. I know it's your favorite.
My
So
absolute
that's
favorite.
why I get to
I
cover
did
it.
pick this week though, right?
Oh, I don't know. Did you?
I did pick this week.
There's too many fantasies going on right now. I can't remember what we picked for.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but over JDMX 050 is still leading. Dude, his overall rank is 149 overall.
Wow.
He's 149.
That's really good.
Yeah, with Jeremy DeWitt.
Man.
That's a Jeremy DeWitt. Right
Congratulations,
there.
buddy.
Yeah, 149 overall. And then B. Moretto is in second. McVeary is in third. Ronnie B. 109 is in fourth. Big Ben is in fifth. He's doing pretty good in both leagues. Racer X 169 is in sixth. And I don't know. Mangroff fell. We all fell. I'm in 16th. I don't even know where you're at. You're not even on here anymore.
I'm way
You're
down
gone.
there. So, but let's talk about the actual best fantasy.
The best fantasy
the
there
split
is.
line off-road fantasy.
The fast and upcoming fantasy there is.
Absolutely. So it's exciting as always. We're excited to keep going down this road, and it's a lot of fun.
It's already making me mad.
It's making me it made me happy this weekend
Yeah.
because yours truly took the win
Yeah.
with 195 points.
Wow.
So I won.
Now he did cheat, guys.
Maybe. Well, remember I posted my team.
I didn't see it.
I posted my team
I didn't
before
see
the
it.
races started. Yeah. So, and then Scott Connors, who actually won the Guts Racing seat cover for this week, he got second place with 191 points, and then Brandon Green took third place with 173 points. And then in the overall, Tom Williams,
Nice.
my brother-in-law, who is helping me build this. The way that we're doing.
He's our marks.
Yeah, he's our marks pretty much. He doesn't really know much about GNCC.
Yeah.
And he picked everybody based upon how cool their names sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and he is winning the overall right now with 420 points. And then Brandon, you're in second
I had a
with
little rough.
416. Zach Bothwell is in third with 402. And William 316 is in fourth with 380 points. So
We still got a long season.
we still got a long season, but it's looking good for
It is.
it's looking good for the home team. I
It
think.
is. It's looking good. It's
People
looking
might
good.
think that I won this week, you won the first week, and now Tom's in the overall.
Listen.
And we're not home cooking, I promise,
I
guys.
promise. No, we I honestly, my picks kind of reflected back because I really thought we were going to have a big mutter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I thought like it was muddy.
man. Did you see that quad race though?
Yeah, it was muddy.
Yeah, it was
but I
muddy.
mean, I was talking like
Yeah, you were talking like
mutter.
you were talking like last year's
yeah.
last year's Ironman
yes,
muddy.
yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to Grant Baylor? Do you know?
I think he had a wreck. He ended up having to pull plastic off the bike and put new plastic on the bike. I'm not 100% sure. We'll ask Stu when he comes
That's
on.
what messed me up right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So actually, did you know that I don't know if you knew this or not, but I want to give a shout out to Doug Kirk because he helped us out with this little situation we had. Wyatt Wilkins' transponder messed up. And so this is going to be a potential issue in the future that we need to address with fantasy and then how it works if there's a transponder issue. They can fix the class, but they can't fix the overall when it comes to his transponder. So this week it was easy because he finished in second, and first and third in his class finished together.
Yeah.
So I just gave him, I didn't take any points away from anybody else, but I gave him 12th place points where he actually kind of ended up in between those guys. So that's what we're going to kind of be doing. If that happens again, which I'm sure it will, we'll kind of cross those roads when we get there, but we'll make it as fair as possible for everybody.
He was actually running wasn't he running first or second at one point? In overall. Because Jay Shadron was running third.
Jay was third. Yeah, he was way
third.
up there.
But
and then Brandon Owens was up there as well.
At that point, Wyatt Wilkins was actually ahead of Jay.
Yeah.
So he was actually second overall.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go over the podiums real quick for all the classes. Over in the ATV women's class, I want to give a shout out to Hannah Hunter for taking first. I think that's 3 in a row for her.
Is it 3? Wow.
Is it 3 in a row?
Yeah,
I believe it is.
be.
Yep. Tracy Pickens in second and Angel Maggie in third.
Yeah.
Looks like Hannah's
Yeah, she's on
Doing
it, man.
good.
She's doing really
Yeah, absolutely.
good. We need to have her on one time.
Yeah,
we need to
absolutely.
get a hold of her.
Absolutely. And then over in the 4x4 class, Cody Kohler, he took his second win of the season, and Landon Wolf, steady Eddie to this year in second place, then Brandon Frazier in third.
Yeah, I like it. I like how they're mixing it up a little bit now.
They really are, and it's good racing too. From what I saw from the live footage or the replay, they came through the finish line nose to tail, all of them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty good racing
really good.
with those big beast,
the big
4x4s,
beast,
yeah. And then in the XC2, Jay Shadron, 3 for 3 so far.
Yep.
He's putting on a clinic. So
every guy in the XC2 wishes he would want to rate the XC1 again.
yeah, exactly. And then our buddy Brandon Owens, talked to him, and he's excited about how he ran this weekend. He got second in the Pro-Am, and Wyatt Wilkin got third. So congratulations to those guys. At the ATV Pro, Walker took first, Hunter Hart in second. Man, Hunter needed that one.
He needed it.
He needed that one, and he was happy. You could tell he was stoked about it. Got the whole shot.
Get out of that slump.
Got out of that little slump, and he's ready to go again. And then Bryson Neal took third, and I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
I think I like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he's not stoked about it, but I'm stoked about it.
You hoping it feeds the bear? Is that what you're hoping? You hoping it feeds him?
I think that, third place is better than breaking the bike trying to go for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
we'll get in that.
Yeah,
I guess.
Absolutely.
We'll keep going.
And then Devin Feehan finished fourth. Can't say enough about how he's running this year.
Yeah.
Led the race for a long time too. Over in the women's bike class, Taylor Jones took the win. Rachel Archer in second. Corey Steed in third. Those three have been swapping positions over there for the past 3 rounds for sure. So that's going to be an interesting battle to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they've been off the podium at all. Those three.
Yeah, I think those have been every time.
And then how about that battle in XC2 between Mike Wachowski and Lyndon Snodgrass?
Yeah, Lyndon. It was good to see Lyndon up there battling. That was really cool.
He came in just behind Mike at the finish, and he wasn't happy about how he finished, and that's cool to see because it's cool to see that fire.
Well, he was leading. I think he was leading most of the race.
Yeah,
So Mike had to come back and dig deep and to get that race. So.
And then Ryder Lafferty finished third overall, or third in XC2. So that's exciting to hear. And then, man, over in the XC1, Ben Kelly putting on a clinic. Putting on a clinic.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that here in a minute too. And then Josh Toth, and then Craig DeLong. Craig DeLong's been doing really good this year. This is his first year. Rookie year. Podium. He looks mature out there on the bike, so it's exciting.
It's really good for him, but bad for everybody else. Everyone that unfortunately we had like 3 guys, throw more than 3 guys, about 4 guys that in the XC1 class that actually can't race right now because they're hurt. It's really good for him. It's bad for them because I think if he keeps getting his confidence and maybe keep getting on the podium, it's going to be hard to slow him down. Coming up, coming in races when they come back. So
yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, I think it's good for him, bad for everybody else.
Let's break down the ATVs real quick before we get Stu on here in about 10 minutes. So Stu Baylor coming on the show in 10 minutes. Pretty excited about that. 10 minutes, guys. So Walker, 2 straight wins, just putting on a Walker-like performance. He this track ended up being really rough. Just real brutal. Did you see it? Deep ruts.
The deep ruts.
It ended up being a good race again on the ATV side. Feehan led a lot of that race, and I think he ended up having some troubles towards the end of the race, getting stuck and hung up and whatnot. But it's exciting to see him up there and seeing him mixing it up with those guys and just being consistent about it. And then Hunter, man, what can you say about Hunter coming back from a couple of rounds of just not him? It wasn't his type of performances in those first 2 rounds.
No, and you could definitely tell that it was bothering him a little bit where he was at. So I think coming, we're going back to Camp Coker coming up soon. So I think coming back into that race, he's going to want a little bit of redemption from round 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I think. I think Hunter is a guy that operates off of a momentum. So, you give him a little bit of momentum and he's going to start clicking off.
Well, like we always say, it's racers are nothing but head cases. So, I mean, it's true. You win, you're up, and if you lose, and if you do really bad, you're really down, and you're the only one who can get yourself out of it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hunter is that, like you said, that person that once he gets that momentum rolling, man, he might be hard to stop.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see him getting back up there and mixing it up where he belongs. And then what can you say about Bryson Neal?
Yeah,
I mean,
the beard's gone.
The beard's gone. He didn't win, and the beard's gone.
Right.
So
yeah.
Do the two go hand in hand?
I
don't know. Bryson, where'd the beard go, buddy?
I tell you what, everybody, Georgia took everybody's beards. Mikey Waynes came home without
a beard.
his mustache.
Yeah. I mean,
that's awesome. I think it was like 3 people I saw that shaved their beard. And stuff after that one.
Yeah, but Bryson, I mean, I hope this is a sign of like, okay, on my bad days, I'm going to take that third place position. On that bad days, I'm going to take the fourth.
If that's a bad day for him,
exactly,
that's amazing.
Exactly. Exactly. So I consider that a win.
Mm-hmm.
We would rather that than finding it out that he's broken down at the 8-mile marker or something like that, which is what happened last year around this time.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to dig himself out of a big hole.
Do you think it's because he's back with Magna One and has a team behind him? Maybe
I think it helps. It has to help.
Takes the pressure off just a hair.
Takes the pressure off him. Takes the pressure off his dad.
Yeah.
To have that support and have that just. I believe it probably breeds a little bit of confidence in him as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To be able to walk into that and know you have support of a team behind you.
Yeah.
That team also has bike side as well. So it's a lot of support. So it's exciting to see that, especially for the ATV guys all around. It's exciting to see support for the ATVs.
Yeah, that's very, very rare these days.
Yeah, absolutely. So going over into Sunday, the first question I'm going to ask you is, does Ben Kelly go 13-0?
No. Mm-mm. Nope. Everybody shot me down when I said Christian Craig was going to win them out, and everybody's like, no.
Wait, time out. When you said Christian Craig was going to win them all?
Yeah.
I think Ben Kelly has a better shot than Christian Craig.
No. Other than the one race, Christian's won them all, right?
No.
He didn't?
No. Come on, Brandon. Do you even pay attention?
It's been a long time since the West Coast.
It has. It feels like a whole season ago.
But no, I mean, right now he's unstoppable. But Josh Toth was there on his heels, keeping him honest. He broke at the end. He won by
over a minute.
At the end, he pulled away
when he decided to.
Right, and I don't know if because there's some people that might have had some issues. I think Josh actually went down at one point, and I think that's when Ben got by him.
Mm-hmm.
He's riding good. You can't take nothing away from the guy right now. Even if everybody was still in the field, I don't know if anybody was going to beat him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll get Stu's opinion on that. I think barring any problems, he wins them all. Yeah. And he's not somebody that puts himself in problematic situations too often.
Has anybody ever done it?
Mm-mm.
I
found that on the Bottleneck Live show last night.
I was going to say
that the closest that somebody's come was Caleb in 2017, I believe, and he won 10 races.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikey Waynes and DQ for that information.
I'm about to fact check that. They came from those guys. I don't know. I'm joking.
Well, yeah, they actually called Jared Bolton. So he's the one that came from.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't know either. They asked a trivia question and they didn't know the answer. So
I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. But like you said, Toth is riding solid, and I was really excited to see him be able to run that pace after just a week ago having that heat stroke issue.
Right. And then I don't know if it was a heat stroke. I
think it was.
Was it?
We'll ask. Still no.
I don't know. Yeah, still might know. But Jordan Ashburn got out front early, and then he went down. I think them going down a hill or something. Hit a rock and went down pretty good too. So
I know that I don't know. Did he go down or did he have a wiring issue problem?
Maybe
because I know Josh Strang was helping him in the woods fix a wiring issue problem that he had.
Maybe it's after he went down. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not sure either, but he was sitting idle in the woods for a while. Over a minute.
Yeah.
And then for him to battle back up to just finishing just off the podium, it's
impressive.
Very impressive. Very impressive. So, yes, I'm glad that So Toth comes on the show, and then he has a heat stroke the next week. Then Ashburn comes on the
good
show.
for the quad guys, bad for the bike guys. I don't know.
Ashburn comes on the show, and he has problems with the bike. So
they're all like, get Ben Kelly on.
so we're bringing Stu on the show. That way he's not racing in the next race, so he can't have any issues.
Well, we're making, he's going to come on so we can get him back out on the bike. So
yeah, there we go. Exactly. So we jumped over Craig DeLong a little bit. I mean, congratulations to him.
He had a fight for that too, a little bit.
He did. That was a good battle too.
Yeah, I think first lap he came around like fifth or sixth. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, he, to get up there on the podium, I know a couple guys had issues, but he still had to battle his way up and do the whole 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Doug Kirk made a comment that Tom is like his wife killing it in fantasy football. So it's pretty much the same. But other than that, man, what a cold weekend down in Georgia, right?
Yeah. I don't feel bad for him because we had 8 inches of snow here.
Yeah, we did.
I don't feel bad.
I don't know, man. I'd almost rather take snow than rain and mud in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, I hope my weekend's a lot better. It doesn't end up like that.
Did you see the Between the Arrows? I haven't caught the dirt bike ones yet, but Landon Wolf was talking, and they were talking to him, and he was like, "Does it look like I'm having fun?"
Did you see?
I'm wearing a coat to the starting line.
Did you watch Stu's interviews?
Oh yeah, with the microphone.
With the microphone,
yeah, it's great
and stuff. And then Ben Kelly was like, "Does it look like I want to be?" Go out and ride the track.
Do I look like I'm having fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, these guys are.
I give it to them, man. That's one thing about GNCC racing that kind of gets left out. No matter if it rains, no matter if it floods, no matter if it's 105 degrees outside and it's dustier than like a whiteout out there. They race, and that you got to give hats off to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no tractor or dozer to go out and clean it up or. You know what I mean?
No, I mean it's tough. It's a tough sport. It's a man's sport.
Yeah.
So these guys,
yeah. The good news is, the only good news about it, and it took me a while to figure it out. Like, man, I'm like, how's the track not be nasty? But there's so many bikes out there and quads and everything, so it all mixes it up pretty decent. So by the time, I feel bad for the minis and the first morning race for the quads because. That's where it's rough where it gets nasty.
It's rough there. Those poor little guys. And it's colder there too.
Yeah.
Colder in that morning. So I think it's time we go ahead and get Stu on the show. So we'll call him right now and see what he has to say. I'm excited to talk to him. It's been a while since we talked to him.
Yeah.
When we talked to him the first time, he wasn't in dad life yet. He was, and now he's all in dad life and
just living a dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or about the dream,
Hello.
Hey, Stu.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How's it going, man? We appreciate you coming on the show.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm glad I can make it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Just wish I could ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. We were just actually talking about the microphone videos that you have on your Instagram right now. So it looks like you're at least making the best of a bad situation and having fun a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I've always tried to stay active in the racing scene, even when I'm injured. And this time's no different than that. It's just a little bit tougher being in the parking lot these days than it has been in the past. Just the injuries in the past, I was never the guy to beat. And when you're the guy to beat and you're watching everybody else kind of up front, it's pretty upsetting, and you never really know. I mean, last year may have been my best shot at a championship, and it could have been the last chance that I had. So mentally that stuff's definitely frustrating. It sucks, but it's racing.
Yeah. We just figured you were trying to figure out it's something after retirement, being a broadcaster.
I tell you what, man, the broadcasting crew is top of the notch as it is with the Racer TV. But when Stu's in there, we hate seeing you in there,
right, yeah.
But your take on everything, it's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I try to give a good spin to it. I was actually part of the first ever episodes for GNCC Live back when I was injured in 2013. So I've been in that TV booth quite a few times, and I think that I try to put myself in their shoes. And, even this weekend, I think right before Ben made the pass, I said, okay, it's go time. Like, obviously he's going to get the pit board. Bollinger and Craig were starting to make some moves and cut down the time. And as a racer, you kind of know these things, and you understand, like, they're going to throw out a pit board. They're going to let the guys know, hey, you're getting caught. And that's when things start moving on the track, especially in that racer mindset. So I like to be able to share a little bit of what knowledge I've acquired over the years. And it's good to have somebody that Rodney and Mike and other guys in the trailer. It's tough to not just talk about racing and mindset. So they keep me from getting too stuck on one subject.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and you're always on there, you're talking about having the headset on and listening to the race from the spotters' points of view. How often are you able to get updates? Like, if you're following, because I think you were following the XC2 race a lot this weekend, and you were talking about how, the battle between Snodgrass and Witkowski, and how often, with that headset, are you able to get an idea of where those guys are at and what the battle is looking like?
It really depends on the track and the layout. So this weekend was really good. Basically, if you look at the overhead, there was multiple spots where you could, as a spotter or a mechanic, they could make it from, let's say, the 1 to the 3, and then the 9 to the 11. And they were every couple minutes, there was somebody down the trail. So I would, in between talking, throw the one side of the headset on and just listen, just to hear what's actually going on in the woods. Because although the camera crew's great, there's a lot of places that aren't picked up out there. And I heard on the last lap that I could hear it in my ear, like, contact made. And it was Randy Hawkins saying that Lennon had actually run it in on Mike and went for the pass and ended up going down, kind of clipped his rear tire. But that's the stuff where the camera doesn't pick it up. So I was just involved because the race was fun and exciting. But this weekend, to answer your question, it was every 2 minutes.
Like, that's awesome.
It was like clockwork. I mean, it was constant chatter on the radio. Just what really depends on what track it is and the layout. Obviously, races like snowshoe, you may go 9 miles, so 20 minutes without hearing a word.
Yeah.
And nobody knows anything. So it's just different venues kind of give you a little bit different spin on what you can actually hear. Florida is one of the places as well. Like, the back half of the track, you kind of go radio silent for a good 10, 12 minutes. So I enjoy the races like this. If you look at the track map, the entire track almost circled the parking lot, but it was narrow, so you could go from the 1 to the 3 and the 5 to the 7, and basically cutting across nonstop. So those tracks and those layouts are good for the spectators, but also for the crews and the camera crews. So lots of updates, and every team has 6, 8, 10, 20 guys dedicated to be out in those woods, making sure that all of us can get through the mud holes and tricky sections easily. So it's cool the way that they spread them out. And from the backside, this was actually one of the first weekends that I got to sit on the radio and the headset, which I didn't do anything with it. I just kind of listened. But
yeah.
I never really got to hear the radio chatter. It's always either you're out there racing, or I'm either in the TV booth. So I kind of did both this weekend just to listen in, like, and hear the different take on it.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool if you could figure it out like NASCAR. How you can put your headset in NASCAR and hear the radio chatter come across, like, for the fans, for like spectators. I think that'd be pretty neat.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great until they found out that somebody was cheating.
Well, there's no one does that.
Stuff that goes on the backside of the radios, there would be a little more chaos. I think it would never happen, but yeah. I wouldn't mind it.
Right.
And unfortunately, for you, I know that, like, when we were watching this race unfold, this looked like a track that you would have really loved. Mm-hmm. It looked like it developed pretty technical, and especially after the ATV race on Saturday, all those deep ruts. Is that kind of what you were thinking going, watching this all unfold?
Yeah, I mean, watching it this weekend, it was like watching my dream track, basically. Like however good it can get for me, like that was about the best the conditions could be for me. It was very, very gnarly, constantly changing, lots of ruts, hooked ruts, and gnarly soft spots, the stuff that I seem to ride really well. So, obviously last year there at Georgia, I kind of went from last to first and put a gap on the guys and was able to maintain. And that's always been one of my stronger tracks. And I feel like it suits my style perfectly. So it was pretty rough watching that one.
Yeah. So you've been pretty busy here lately. I know you got some 514 gear coming out. You've been making water bottles for people and selling all that stuff. So what else you been doing? Anything else?
Well, pretty much just sitting on the couch. I haven't been able to do honestly anything for quite a while now. It's been miserable without being able to turn my head. I can't drive unless somebody's with me. I can't check intersections. So kind of sucks. But we're getting towards the backside of it. I'm to the point now where the pain's not there. So I'm just honestly kind of pissed off half the time because I can't go and do anything. But I went fishing this week. So I finally got out of the house. Aside from that, the only thing I can drive is my RV because the mirror's set up in front of me and I've got cameras on the dash. So I can check all my surroundings in the RV, but I can't drive my pickup truck and kind of relying on my wife, waiting on her to get home before I can do anything around the house or go get stuff. Like today it was, I've been really in the cooking mood. So I've been cooking a lot. I've always enjoyed doing that. And I'll come back probably 300 pounds because but I've been doing a lot of cooking and small house projects. Like we're doing a couple things around the house this week and basically relying on her to get me to Lowe's is like the days drag on. So
I'm sure.
It's pretty terrible. It's been the most boring injury I've ever had. I'm not self-sufficient with it. So it's terrible for somebody who goes all the time to just suddenly stop. And, even going to the track and like getting to watch other people ride, like out at the shoals, it's been, basically I spent every day there for so long. And other injuries, I sit on the dozer and I can still run the equipment with a cast on. But this, I can't sit in the equipment. I can't do anything. I'm just useless out there. So it's like, it's tough to even go out there. So I've just been like sticking to the house, sticking to myself and trying to go to all the races I can. But this weekend I'm doing a riding school at Full Gas, and it's something that I don't need to demonstrate. Where I can discuss most of that and tell the guys kind of what I expect, and I'm hoping it'll go well. But it's a little way for some extra income. Obviously, with most racing, bonus structure is everything. I mean, you don't make much money on salaries, especially in the off-road. So trying to do a couple riding schools during this downtime and make the best of it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's awesome about like what you're doing is all the social media that you pour yourself into and really kind of, and it takes dedication to do all of that. Like we know with this stuff that it really takes intent to be able to put.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job to do the social media stuff. And then to be able to do the riding schools and everything. And it's cool because we get to follow along with your story. And like we've made a GNCC fantasy, and when I've seen you be hard and give some crap to Bubs Tasha, I've picked him on my fantasy team because I feel like he'll do better the next weekend.
Yeah. This weekend was a little rough for him. He burned his brakes out and but he didn't quit. He would have quit if I wasn't in the back of his mind. He definitely would have quit 100%. So at least he was thinking about our little chat. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be very active on the social media. Obviously that's how people keep up with us. And, social media is not one of my strong points. But I've noticed, especially through injury, that anytime that you stop using your social media, you stop getting likes, followers, people don't really care what you're doing and they're not checking in on you constantly. Right. And half of our job as racers in this day and age is social media. I mean, there's guys, I would say I would probably put money that Axel Hodges is the highest paid motorcycle rider in the U.S. or close to it. And it's all social media. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's got a lot of other things that he does to promote himself and his own brand. But it just goes to show that you can make a racer's salary by just staying active and doing things that people enjoy and being able to interact. And obviously, I was blessed with the talent to do this, and I don't mind. I don't mind sharing it, showing it. Having people kind of tag along through the days. I feel like a lot of people admire it and would love to be able to do it. That was something that I grew up obviously wanting to do. And now that I'm able to do it, I would love to go back and get to watch Watsy and those guys every day. And I got to it at the later part of my youth days. I got to spend a lot of time at the farm there, Randy Hawkins' place, where Jason Raines, Steve Hatch, Rodney Smith kind of bounced in occasionally, Fred Andrews, the Cowie team, Watsy was there, Thad Duvall, Charlie Mullins. Like, you see all these guys, and you got to Barry Hawk was even racing back then, and I got to ride with those guys and got to see what they did. So my social media and kind of posting through our days and what we do and showing that I'm a real person, not just a dirt bike racer. I got to see that. And a lot of people never get to. I mean, no offense to Caleb Russell, but he never really showed his true colors. And I'm a friend of Caleb's, and I know how Caleb is, and what you saw on social media and in front of people was not at all the Caleb that I knew. I mean, the Caleb that I knew was fun to be around and enjoyed having a beer with the boys and going out and bowling and bow fishing and the same things that I enjoy and I actually post about. But I feel like so much of our lives has been censored. And for a long time, it was, if you want a factory ride, you had to be censored. Mm-hmm. And now through social media, you can actually show your true colors. And I think that I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm kind of on the forefront of that, to basically show the industry that people want real people. Like, I am just as good at advertising in 7th place with a personality as the 1st place guy with none.
Yeah. And you're right about that, because I mean, you are on the one of the pioneers when it comes to putting yourself out there. I mean, we watched listen to the weekend review with Stu with OTP, and it's awesome all the time. And we enjoy having you on here as well. And stuff like this, I feel like it just only benefits the sport as a whole. Mm-hmm. And whenever you do it and you're kind of on the forefront about it, it almost makes other people feel obligated to, okay, I gotta do it as well. And I feel like we've had more success probably getting people on because they know that you do this type of stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's going to start slowly picking up and making it easier for other guys to want to jump on. But a lot of it, to be honest, racers are very secretive on how much they make, how often they train, where they ride, and they all think that they have the secret sauce to success, and that's bullshit. Nobody has it. There is, it's open knowledge. If you've got talent, heart, motivation, and a good training program and the right people, you're going to be successful in racing. If you're missing one of those elements, then you're probably not going to be successful. And it sucks because there's a lot of guys that have everything but the talent, and there's a lot of guys that have everything but the heart. There's a lot of guys that have everything but the motivation to go and train. And it's at the end of the day, it's not a secret. What we make is really jack shit. So I don't know why we're secretive about that. But the industry puts the fear of God on you when they're like, don't discuss this contract with anybody. And it's like, okay, I'm the number one guy in the U.S. You don't want me to discuss that I make less than six figures. Okay, whatever. Like, no, that's cool. Fine.
Right.
But no, I mean, that's the way that things are. And I think that, even doing these podcasts as a whole, and I don't know if you guys listened to the one yesterday, but at the end, I said, if you're a pro rider, call up, do a podcast. Like, doing this stuff, it's helped me with my career. It helps you as a public speaker. It helps you show yourself, which sells your brand, and it helps you separate yourself from the rest of the people. So to me, all of this stuff, I don't get paid to do any of these podcasts, but to me, it's a way that hopefully, maybe not in my generation of racer, but maybe in the future, we start seeing larger salaries, larger numbers that these guys are fighting for, rather than all fighting for the same $1 million spread between 25 guys. I mean, it's really piss poor when you think about it. When Supercross has 80 guys and they're making 10 million, and you've got 8,000 different or 9,600 different racers, something crazy like that, throughout the year come and attend GNCCs. I know the highest attendances are like 25, 26, 2,700. But throughout the year, just at GNCC, we see just shy of 10,000 separate people come and race at GNCC. So when you start thinking numbers like that, I understand we don't have the television, which doesn't make us as marketable, but we have the personal touch because these guys actually get to come and race on our same racetrack. So to me, the gap in pay is kind of absurd, but I think a lot of it comes back to the racers and what we do in our spare time. If we're piss poor on social media and we don't market and advertise ourselves, then too bad for us. I mean, we're screwing ourselves. So a lot of these guys don't do these podcasts, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot. You probably message certain riders that just don't respond.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's always been, because everybody, again, thinks they have the secret sauce. But to me, like I said, I may not ever see it fully change. I've been one of the fortunate ones. Like, I would say that through the last 5 to 7 years, even when I wasn't winning, I've probably done better financially than most of the guys that were, aside from Caleb. I know he did really well with some of his long-term stuff, but even when I wasn't a faster rider than other guys, I was more marketable because I was approachable and I did certain stuff like this. So I see it on the tail end, and I think sooner or later it'll start to pick up. But podcasts and what you guys do, I appreciate. A lot of the guys may not understand it, but all media, all press, everybody involved, I appreciate the guys that are out there grinding and taking photos, filming, whatever. Every time that one picture gets out, I mean, that's if it covers 2 eyes or 2,000 or anywhere in between, that's more eyes that we have on us, which makes us more marketable to the outside industry, which is ideally where we need to go, because that's what Supercross has. That's the reasons they can make the numbers they do. So, I'm all for the podcast and jumping on, and if it takes 20 minutes out of my day, I may not get paid to do it, but I feel like I can justify it because I think I'll see the increase on the tail end.
Right.
So, I think that's a big part. I mean, Pulp and Max has been really, really good, and actually some of the Pro Moto and Supercross guys to get on there, you can hear them every once in a while. They'll show their appreciation to what these guys do. Yes, they're controversial. Yes, there's a lot of BS that those guys preach, but at the same time, I think that it's very good because it's a different opinion, and it's another place for us to basically be marketed.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's entertainment as well.
Yeah.
And how often, like you talk about Pulp and Max, does Steve Mathis actually believe what he's saying versus, okay, do I just want to disagree with Jason Thomas? So just to make it entertaining.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I think you're 100% spot on there. I sometimes I don't think he believes his own bullshit.
No.
Nothing against him, because sometimes I don't believe mine, but
Right.
no, it's part of it. Like you've got to have that backside, and if you don't, like you're basically going to go nowhere. And I think that's why they've done so well, is because they always play the devil's advocates.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's going to be in that booth with Steve Matz is going to be the devil's advocate, and they're going to show a difference in opinion, which is good. I mean, yeah, we may not all agree at the end of the day. I mean, personally, I think, Steve Masters is an obvious liberal. And I'm not a fan of his political views at all, but I do think that he has some good points in racing, and I don't choose to listen to his show a lot because of that. But I still listen to it, and I still enjoy hearing a difference in opinion. Even though some things I definitely agree with, and there's some things that I definitely don't. And I think everybody does, but that's why you choose to listen to Pulp MX, and that's why they've done so well, why they've been so successful, is they always have a difference of opinion or different view. Even sometimes they even reveal an actual literal different view on crashes or controversy that happens in Supercross. They come up with a cell phone shot taken, from little Jimmy in the bottom.
Exactly.
That shows a different angle, like the whole
Craig Freezy or
the Freezy crash.
Yeah,
that one. So the Freezy crash, like, dude, I'm sorry, but Christian Craig, as a racer, Christian Craig fucked up.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind. He's the one that screwed up. He should have felt the heat. Like, they were both diving for the same line. He got on the outside of Freeze, and Freeze had too much speed. All he had to do was check up. That was his fault, his screw up. But everybody slayed Freezy, and I'm not saying I'm blowing Freezy in this point at all, but the first time that you actually saw the different view definitely wasn't from Racer X or anybody associated with racing. It was from Pulp MX.
Yeah.
And so, that I love that controversial side. Like, I'm all for it. Like, because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as bad press.
Right.
I mean, look at, I go back to the reason I started being myself and doing silly things and standing out is because of guys like Ric Flair. Like, was it stupid? Did he have a lot of haters? Absolutely. The guy was more successful in racing, and to this day, if you want to go eat dinner with Ric Flair down in Houston, Texas, he's gonna make $100,000 this weekend.
Right.
And he is like an absolute nobody. He got known for doing some stupid things and a couple talk shows, and he never turned down an interview. And you look back, and that guy, until movies were big and John Cena and these guys came on the show, that guy made millions where everybody else was making thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pissing in their cereal left and right. And at the end of the day, he was the man to beat. John Daly was making more money than any other golfer, and he didn't have to win to do it.
No. And
he never turned down an interview. If he did, he would at least talk to the cameras. He was telling them to kiss his ass. But, those are the things that I saw. And when I used to be the puppet, and I was part of the KTM Blow show for a long time, and I was yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, very quiet. And then I got fired because I got injured, and I continued racing and got them a championship, and basically wasn't competitive the following year to surgery. So I got fired, kind of had to scratch back, and I'm sitting there going, man, I did everything. Like, to my knowledge, I did everything right. Like, I didn't back talk. I did as I was told, and I got dropped on my head.
Yeah.
At that point, that was when I first started GNCC, doing the GNCC Live. I realized that I've got to put myself out there, and that's kind of what I've done, and I've carried it through to now, to present day, is doing extra things. If it's an interview, if it's on camera, off camera, even if it's talking to somebody who really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to racing, just saying hi. You never know who that guy might be, that, the Todd Ely's of the world. I mean, that guy contacted me to have a beer with him. He drove up on the golf course, sent his kid to pick me up on a golf cart. And before you know it, I've got a ride from the guy. So, just putting yourself out there is big, and it's something that a lot of racers are not comfortable doing. So,
yeah.
I'm all for pretty much anything.
Yeah. So since we're talking about money, I don't know if you could say this or not. I don't know if it's secret, but what do you guys get paid if you win a GNCC race?
It depends on your contract. Like most guys are anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 to win a race.
So is that come from like Yamaha, or does that come from like GNCC itself? Like, what's the purse? I don't even.
GNCC's purse is like $1,200 to win, and it goes down from there,
Wow.
which hasn't changed in about the last 20 years. That's been
That's kind of low.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, relatively, yeah. I mean, not talking shit on them.
No.
Like, man, they make a lot of money. They could throw a little more,
right.
But at the same time, they do spend a lot. Like that live show gives us a platform that we can make more money from our sponsors through. But yeah, basically between everything, when everything's in, most guys are anywhere from 7 to some of the bigger contracts. Like when I was working on 10 and 12 different deals and doing like the Teely side of things, I was able to get, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, and you could get $12,000-$13,000 to win a race. And obviously like back then I think I won like 2 or 3 or 4, something like 4 of them. So they were few and far between back then, but that was one of the larger bonuses that I've seen. And I try to talk to all the guys, and I know most of the KTM contract, KTM Husqvarna stuff is anywhere from 7 to 10, and they're only paid top 2. So everything's a little bit different. And then salary, like I would say going rate for most guys, like an average salary to race in the XC1 would be $50,000, anywhere from 30 to 90. Some of the higher guys are a tick over 100. And there's, if you're really good and you're winning 6-8 years in a row, it's more like 300 and 400. But you got to do a lot to get there. Where literally a decent pro Supercross 250 ride pays way more. Pays millions.
I was gonna say, like, compared to Supercross, a main event guy on 450s $100,000 to win a Supercross. I'm like, and I've heard the backside. I'm sure that there's some listeners that are thinking, oh, this guy's complaining because he's making a couple $100,000 a year. Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I'm putting my body through hell. Probably won't be able to walk past 50, so I need to figure out how I'm going to retire between now and 50 because of the shit I've done to my body. And about 100 of it, if you follow every national series, about 100 of it goes right back into racing. Right. Especially the way gas prices are going.
And Stu's now have to take
with my boy Joe and his new gas prices. Fuck, at this rate, I was talking to Ricky Russell this week. I think his camper sleeps 9, mine sleeps 6, and we're gonna just pile them. We're gonna put my RV towing his bumper pull, and we're gonna just start charging rent to anybody that wants to stay with us so that we can afford to go racing. Because by God, fuel at this rate, we're going to be paying $8 by the end of summer.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'm sure the only reason why you haven't taken the RV to Lowe's instead of waiting for your wife to come home is because of fuel prices.
You're damn right. She's got a gas car. I got a diesel. It's not happening. I'm not moving that thing. It doesn't run an hour extra if it doesn't have to.
Right. It's like I'm going the full gas Sprint this weekend, and from West Virginia down there, I mean, me and my nephew were splitting the cost for gas for his truck and camper. I mean, we're at like $600-$700 just for gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's insane.
Insane. It's absurd. I mean, even we're only an hour and 20 minutes from there, but I was doing the math and I was like, we can drive back and forth each day for the riding schools. Basically, I drive down 3 days. And in a gas car and her SUV, or we can take the RV down there one time. And I'm like, we're taking the RV. At this rate, we'll be spending a couple $100, even just driving 3 hours a day, an hour and a half down, hour and a half back, 3 trips. Like, fuck, dude, the price is outrageous.
Right.
So, I mean, it's definitely tough, but I mean, when you really look at it, like, in the grand scheme of things, if it cost somebody $20,000 to go racing last year, it's really going to cost them $25,000 this year. It sounds bad. I don't think the racing's really going to hurt right now. I think we're going to see I would guarantee we're going to see a 20% dip in attendance
Mhm.
within the next 12 months. But that's kind of, I feel like it's going to weed out the guys that weren't really traveling for it anyway. And the guys that are dedicated to it, like I've seen it before, obviously back when I was a kid, but the highest attendance to date, at the time, not now, but the highest attendance to date was Unadilla GNCC during the recession. And we had like 1,900 riders. I remember it was such a just crazy. We almost hit 2,000 people, and now we've hit almost 3,000. But back then, I want to say 08, 09, it was almost $5 gas prices back when the idiots voted for the last Democrat to come in. Oh wait, sorry, we're blaming that on Russia.
Yeah, that's right. That's Russia's fault.
Even though they only control 13% of our fuel, I've seen way more than a 13% increase. But, oh wait, we're not even going to talk about the Keystone thing that got shut down.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know where I stand.
Yeah. Hey, we're
right
standing on the
there
same
with you.
on the same wall with
heard
you.
that. Yeah, we just lost a bunch of viewers.
The bunch.
No, not really. I've yet to find 4 of them.
Right.
I bet you can't find 2 in a parking lot unless you're at the unemployment line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
It's fine. But somehow there's 81 million of them.
Yeah.
So
At 2 a.m. At 2 a.m.
Yeah. 2 Oh man, we've done got on the conspiracy. But no, it's. I think we're going to see a definite dip in the racers. But I think I've seen it. You know, GNCC was able to pull their largest crowd to date at the time. At Unadilla and New York had the highest fuel prices of anybody at the time. I think it was just shy of $5, which was insane at the time. And it hurt attendance. I can remember we didn't take our RV up there. We took a pickup truck and like a family of 6 and still split it, or a family of 5 and still split it with a 6th person to go up there. And we still found a way to go to the races. So, you know, the diehard people, the people that are going to go either way, are going to go regardless. The GNCC has, I forget what it is. It's something along the lines of 40% follow the series. The rest are kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
And those are going to be your locals that they're going to come either way, just because at the end of the day, they want to go see a national.
Yeah.
What you're going to lose is the 20% of guys that were thinking about it on the fence. And I don't think we're going to really hurt in the racing side of things. Obviously, I think we're the bubble's pop, but I hope it doesn't go too bad on the racing side, because we've done so well here in the last few years to get. COVID was a blessing in disguise to the racing world. It's gotten so many people involved buying motorcycles that would have never bought a motorcycle because they were bored. And at the end of the day, I know there's going to be a dip, but I think we gained so many new faces that we're not gonna feel it too hard in the racing world. I just hope it doesn't get much worse and change from there. But from my standpoint, like I think that racing's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I've heard a lot of people kind of speculating on, oh yeah, we can't afford it, we're not going to go, but people are still going to show up. You're going to find a way. I'm going to find a way. We're hooked. It's in our blood. We're those stupid people that just can't get racing out of our blood.
Right.
Well, and that kind of leads me into my next topic, the state of GNCC, where, you know, I've heard you talk a lot about how the amount of racers on the track and the amount of like racers that are attending the event, and it's kind of changed the face of the way that you guys end up having to race on a week-to-week basis, where you're lapping guys, you know, hundreds of guys. It seems like each and every race. And how has that really, I guess, changed the sport itself overall?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of controversy there, because I've heard backsides of it. If I talk shit on lappers, they say, "Oh, well, lapper, you know, we're the reason you have your ride. We're the reason you can pay your bills." Absolutely, which is why you don't see me ever not talking to a kid or a person that approaches me. But it is very difficult because we are paying our bills out there. So it's a very touchy subject, but it's tough to navigate because you never know who you're going to piss off along the way. But there's a few different things. Number one, AMA has really cracked down in the recent years on pushing people out of classes because of a percentage or some shit like that. So they're pushing people into the 3-hour race because they need to be in the B class now that never wanted to be in our race. They loved coming to the GNCCs because they wanted to ride the C class and wanted to watch us.
Right.
They're not going to ride the sportsman's class because they want a shot at getting top 10 one day.
Or they don't want to run 3 hours.
Yeah, or they hate 3 hours. Absolutely. So now we've got a lot of B riders that truly do not belong in our race, and we're passing them at such a high rate of speed that it's dangerous to both us and the lappers. You know, Strang's crash, my crash, a lot of crash have been provoked this season by basically a pro rider coming up so fast on somebody, changing lines last second, riding a line that we haven't walked, haven't seen, hit a tree, whatever it may be, and ending up injured. And it happens regularly. This year was just way more regular than normal. Total freak thing, but it's a blessing and a curse. To see the attendance grow is great. The curse is the backside, obviously the injuries that are happening now that we see today. And I think a lot of it, I would say 50% of today's injuries, just talking to the guys that I know, have been started by other riders, or finding themselves in different lines. So that's where the curse comes in. It's changed racing as a whole. We have to plan our moves based on lappers. And when I walk a track, I walk or pedal the track looking at 2 lines now. And I try to, and sometimes you almost have to look at 3. You got to, when you're in deep and gnarly conditions, you look at, this is the fast line, but it may go to shit. So this is my backup line. And then my backup line, in case there's a lapper in there, we got to come up with line 3. So, when you're inspecting courses now, that's also changed drastically. So it's tough. Again, it's just a blessing and a curse. I mean, obviously we want to see GNCC grow. It can only help us as pro riders, but it does affect our safety, and it makes us second guess some things that we're doing, and it changes the way that you're going to approach different sections. And it also makes me think, how can this be better? Which is a tough one, but we can gander at that all night, and I don't think there's a perfect answer. But, my personal opinion is a 3-day weekend, but that's just me, and the only reason I say that is GNCC has outgrown themselves. But you don't want to split. I've heard splitting bikes and quads. I don't want to do that. Like, I think we all stick to the same weekend. Just figure out a way to work in Friday, and then you're going to hear the complaints about, oh, well, then we got to miss another day. Motherfucker, you were in that parking lot anyway. If you're going to a GNCC and you're not there Friday, then I'm calling BS. Like, sorry, we're all pulling up Friday anyway. You might lose 5% of your amateur youth racers, like something like that. I mean, it's still a national event. There's 13 a year. You can miss 13 days, or some of them are summer breaks. So you can miss more than 13 days somewhere through the year. I think there's like 10 first half, 10 second half on school. So school and work, people will figure it out. I promise. So that's why I think a 3-day weekend. I think start racing on 2:00 in the afternoon on Friday, get a couple of the micro and the amateur and the e-bike races out. And then Saturday, amateur quads, pro bikes, back to back with pros, and you'll keep a good crowd there.
Yeah.
That's my opinions, but no, I mean, I think something's going to have to change soon because of the amount of people on the track. I just don't know the best way to approach it. I'm sure there's smarter people than I out there that are trying to figure out the same thing. GNCC is always evolving, always kind of on top of things. So yeah, I think we will start seeing some changes because I think they know that they need to address it at this point. And it's just moving forward. What's the best place to go?
Yeah.
I really like that pro.
As a fan of the sport, that really, that's an idea that I have never thought of before. I heard you mention it on OTP a couple weeks ago. The idea of racing ATV pros and dirt bike pros on the same day. And you already have the fans in the gate on Saturday, and then plus everybody there that's already there for quads. The bikes are already there. So to be able to carry all of those fans over into one day, it makes too much sense. I'm sure, like you said, there's a lot more smarter people than us that have to figure these things out. But I think that if you can get, all of your fans in and all of your racers in to watch, the best of the best on one day, that would be huge.
Right.
Yeah. I think it could only help as far as our sponsors and stuff like that wanting to be there. Because a lot of the quad and bike sponsors carry over from day to day. So that's the only reason that I said it. I've put some thought into it. I really have. And that's the best case scenario for me, and maybe not for a lot of people, especially the quad guys. They love to complain about anything. That's neither here nor there.
Hey, they're easier to get on podcasts, though. I will say that as a whole, they are easier to get on podcasts.
Well, that's because they're fighting, like the dirt bike guys are fighting for $1 million split between 25 guys. The quad guys are splitting 10 grand between 25 guys. So they're pimping themselves out for free at this point because they need to figure out a way to make $2 to come to the next race. No, I love the quad. A lot of quad friends. That's why I hope I'm allowed to talk shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We encourage it.
Trust me, we talk it back.
No, at the end of the day, the quad guys, they're going to complain about if any schedule was changed. But I personally think that it would be the best way to get spectators in their back-to-back pro races. They'd never have to leave the Big Buck Hill or whatever it may be.
Could you imagine?
I understand their little side. Like, we need to make some changes with the mini dozers, yada yada yada. Well, that's fine as well. Then the second the white flag or the checker flag flies, start with a Sweeco halfway through the track and one at the finish line, and go for 1 hour. And if you can't make it all the way around the track, then that's fine. We start racing. It'll tighten our races back up on the pro side on the bike. Because if you look at it, back in the day, half of the reason the racing was so good is first half of the track, you're learning the track still.
Yeah.
So after the quads go and butcher it, we're not going to know the lines that develop, the lines that change. So we're going to be learning the track as we go. I think it's going to change that racing to where it's going to go back to the third hours where you really push. It's going to make smarter racers better. I think guys like my brother, who's more of an old school guy, doesn't really like to train and do the extra work. He'll be a smart racer, and make guys like that, national enduro style guys, Toth as well, who's a national enduro style, like just that mentality of reading tracks and learning tracks, and then being able to still have that sprint speed. Like guys like that, I think will do much better. And the guys who are just strictly fitness, they're probably going to do a little worse. But I think overall, it's going to tighten that gap, a lot of the gaps. Like throughout the top 10, you won't see 3 guys breaking away and then 6 minutes back finding the next 3. It's going to be 10 guys all together for 2 hours, and the last hour being a race again.
Yeah.
And as you can see, like I've put my thought into it.
Yeah.
It may not be the best answer, but that's to me, I feel like it's the most appealing way to do it, and make it a pro and A race only. So less lappers equals less dangerous.
Yeah.
And then split up amateur racing into 2 separate races. And I think the pro women should be in our race personally.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty fast. Like they're fast enough to run A pace or XC3 as we've seen.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely faster than a B rider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think they should be in our race as well. And then you're highlighting all your pro classes, and
they get the TV coverage.
Yep, and everybody gets the TV coverage, which is also going to give the live show a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to get you overall more views on the live coverage. It's going to be like 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
If it were to all to happen, like that would be that would be, if I could pitch it, that would be the way I would pitch it.
My gosh, could you imagine Howard's Hole after 6 straight hours of pro racing?
Oh my God, dude. I would be so black. I mean, I would still be racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of people that were so black out though.
Yeah.
I would be one of them.
I tell you
But
what,
I would be there for amateur day, 100%.
yeah, absolutely. I love the idea, and I like you said, I think that your viewers for the Racer TV could go from whatever it is, like 500-600 at a time to thousands at a time.
Well, let's be honest. If you're just a spectator
Mm-hmm.
and you want to go watch the quads on Saturday, then you're like, well, shoot, now I either got to drive all the way back home,
I gotta find a
or I
place
got
to
a
stay.
hotel,
Yeah.
or bunk with a buddy, and then to watch the bikes the next day. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard, but
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to do it that way, and you can tell you put thought into that for sure.
Yeah, I got to get the powers that be to listen to me. So, yeah, that's the next step.
we'll see if we can get this podcast in somebody's hands.
I don't know if anybody anybody have any power listens to this podcast. So if you have any thoughts that you don't want them to hear, you're safe here.
We don't even know if they know we exist.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So real quick before you get off, how are we looking? The wrist is good. We're just waiting on the neck, or?
Yeah. So the wrist, I mean, I'm not wearing my brace. It's still broken, but I'm not very good at wearing. They put me in a non-hard cast, so shame on them.
I was going to say that was a bad decision on them.
Yeah, so I've taken that. I've taken the liberty to go ahead and get rid of that.
Well, let's be honest. You've probably cut a hard cast off too, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, starting at 8 years old, I was cutting hard casts off to go racing. So,
yeah.
We'd go back up on Monday to the doctor, and they'd be like, "How did this happen?" I don't know. It got wet and it started getting soft, and we don't know what happened. That's where we're at.
Yeah. So do we have an estimated time for returning to racing, and do we have an estimated time to returning to bow fishing? That's my two big questions.
So bow fishing, 2 weeks.
Okay.
Start doing some more upper body stuff, which is good. It's going to be tough because I'll still be in this neck brace for the next 8 weeks. But
do they make crossbow rigs for bow fishing?
Dude, I've already looked. Yes, they do, but it's such a bitch to get that arrow back in and retrieve it every time. So I was like out on that. So my boat has been sitting here collecting dust, but it's coming soon. And honestly, I'll still be able to make spawn, which is good. And then I might even have to make a trip down to Louisiana and get a couple big alligator gar. That's been on my bucket list to go down there and just get some monster alligator gar.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm trying to do something to get out of the house and actually enjoy myself, seeing as I've got this injury and I can't do a whole lot. But that's 2 weeks on bow fishing is the plan for now. But it's still very dangerous because I can't take any falls or any blows. And like, dude, it's hard to drink as much beer as I do on top of that rocking boat.
So
I mean, if you're drinking beer all night and shooting fish, it's a matter of time before somebody hits the deck.
So
yeah.
no more.
So definitely no wrestling any alligators, right? That's prohibited.
No wrestling alligators. I'll have to tag one of the boys in for that. But no, so that's going to be a couple weeks out, and then racing is going to be right now as it stands. We're looking somewhere along the lines of 8 more weeks in this next race, and it's hopefully will be the same week as the next National Enduro, so I won't miss any National Enduros. If I can just line up, get decent points there, and continue racing that series, that would be ideal. And hopefully only miss one full gas. It just, like I said, it depends on I know if this thing heals in time or not. Will we go back in the week after next to get another x-ray and make sure everything's healing up properly. But as it stands, they're saying 8 weeks off the bike, 8 more weeks off the bike, and in this brace. And then as soon as I'm out of this brace, I can go back to riding. But the next problem is, how weak am I going to be, seeing as at least the first month I've done nothing but sit on the couch. I haven't been able to do anything but sit on the couch. So GNCC is probably going to be tough, but I do want to come back before summer break and at least ride. even if I'm riding around for 6th and 7th place, obviously it's not ideal, but I want to get back out there. I want to try to be competitive and see where I stand and kind of work from there to get back ready. The focus will be after summer break. So, those final 5 rounds. At this point, it's just trying to get back on the bike. It's the scramble, and we're hoping 8 weeks from today or 8 weeks from this past weekend, we'll be back on the bike.
Okay. So that kind of leads me into my next question. In one of the last questions, I promise we won't keep you on too much longer. We were talking about it before you came on. Does Ben lose a race before you come back?
Dude, it's going to be, somebody asked me that this weekend, and then Tyler asked me again, I think last night.
Yeah.
I don't, it will take bad luck on his behalf and good luck on somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
He's just riding too damn good. And, the next question is, who would it be? Who could beat him?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say Craig DeLong's the smartest, the next guy that's smart. And then again, I forget Strang will be back.
Yeah.
And obviously he did have surgery. So hopefully he'll be back and be able to give him Rutherford money, maybe Ohio. I think Strang rode really well there last year. So maybe we can see that. Josh Toth is riding really well, but he just can't finish 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Ashburn, same thing. Like those 2 guys are going to have to figure out that last 30 minutes if they want to beat Ben. I think they have the riding ability. They're definitely fast. They're super fast, really good at reading lines, good at dissecting a track and racing, but that last 30 minutes just whips their ass. So if they can't figure that out, our best shot is, as it stands, and obviously anything can change and I can be wrong, but as it stands, I think our best shot is seeing either Craig DeLong do it or Josh Strang. Hopefully he comes back ready to roll.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for sure. We mentioned a little bit that we have that fantasy league that we've started up, and we operate it by handicaps, kind of like how Pulp MX does theirs, and we keep making Ben's handicap like it's a -3 now, and people are still picking him. So
yeah, it's hard to it would be hard to go away. I mean, I gotta say it's hard to go against Ben at this point. I mean, if I were to bet on the next 5 races, I would have to put Ben up front just about everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Stu, we're not going to keep you for too much longer. We told you a much shorter time that ended up being, but I think we all figured it'd be longer.
Especially since we're not paying you.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
For me.
Maybe one day we could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure I'll run into you this weekend down there, Stu. So if you see some weird guy waving at you saying I'm from Split Line, it's just me.
All right, perfect.
Hey, man, again, as always, we thank you for coming on the show, and awesome interview as always. We appreciate it. And hey, we're excited to see you, whether it be in the booth or on the bike sooner rather than later, for sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and I'll see you guys this weekend.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, guys. That was Stu Baylor. Man, I mean,
you just never know.
What do you say about that interview?
No, it's good.
It's the best interview. Yeah.
You just never know.
He really handles those interviews like it's just like he's interviewing us at this point.
He is.
No, yeah. I mean, whenever he went down, it was just such a shot to the whole series. And that day, him.
It kind of reminds me how last year played out for the quads, like when Neil went out.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh man,
now what?
There went that big battle we wanted.
Yeah. So we're hopefully he comes back this year and is able to like he said, work his way back into strength and to conditioning and be able to put itself.
I would
on the
say
podium.
after summer break for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back and starts winning them all again, like he did a couple years ago.
He come back. Yeah, exactly. He'd come back at Snowshoe and just put a good ride in and ride consistent, and then maybe after summer break, be able to really start ramping it up back into his typical form.
Right.
Yeah. So
we bringing Richie on?
Yeah, Richie's getting ready to come on. So
since we're running a little behind.
Well, I've been texting Richie, and I told him that it would be a few minutes, and he understood. He was I think he was listening to the show as well.
Sorry, Richie. Stu is a long-winded some days.
The Mountain State Hare Scramble series. What do you?
It's a great series. Man.
Absolutely, we're excited to talk about it.
If you're thinking about riding and you're around West Virginia, if you're just thinking about starting to race off-road, go check them out. They're a great series to start out on.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Hey, or quick, I don't know if anybody really cares or not, but Sunstar and me, we did a little blog for Sunstar there, so it'll be coming out tomorrow about the full gas sprint Enduro. That was pretty cool. Sunstar reached out to me, and we did a little bit of a rider profile with talking about full gas sprint Enduro. So if anybody's interested in that, I think it comes out tomorrow on Sunstar's website. So go to Sunstar website and check them out. And while you're there, buy you a set of
how did that go? How did that feel being interviewed?
It was weird. It was pretty cool. It was weird. First time, I think it was the first time as a rider being interviewed like that. So it was pretty neat. It was
As a
pretty cool.
rider, my gosh.
I know, right? It's kind of weird.
Well, did they ask you any what's the hardest question they asked you?
Oh, the hardest question. There's never no hard question.
Did they ask you what your favorite fast food is?
No.
That's our signature question.
That's our signature.
Yeah.
No, it was a good talk. We just sit back and bull crapped and whatever. And then, he wrote it up and he sent over the proof. So I know what it says, and it was pretty good.
I'm telling you, I'm having.
You're terrible.
Yeah,
you're about to get fired from all the technical.
You'd be crap out of luck if I got fired.
You're fired. So if you guys are going down a full gas sprint Enduro, make sure you check out Stu's riding school. I don't know if he's booked up or not, but I know he's doing one Friday and Saturday. Honestly thought about doing it myself, and I was like, I don't know. Do I need to go faster or not?
The answer is probably not.
Probably not. Oh, shoot.
Hello,
Richie.
what's going on?
How's it going, man? We appreciate you holding for us while we were talking to Stu Baylor on the phone.
Oh, that's not a problem. It actually worked out good for me because I was running behind trying to leave the track, so that actually worked good.
Nice.
Yeah. Those of you that don't know, Richie Nolan is the series promoter and owner of the Mountain State Hare Scramble series, new sponsor to the podcast, and a home series to Brandon and I. And we appreciate you being on tonight, and we're excited to talk about some Mountain State racing.
Awesome. Yeah, I love being on. Just come back from the track, so should be a good weekend if we can get the rain to hold off. That's kind of on the back of everybody's mind right now. It's the $1 million question: is the rain going to hold off, or are we going to get everything the forecast is saying?
Yeah. The ground can't hold much more water at this point.
Yeah. The track we're at this weekend's it's pretty rocky. So right now it's surprisingly dry. It's actually dusty in the majority of it, but I would much rather see the dust than the mud. So we're hoping the rain, like I said, holds off.
Yeah, for sure. So coming into this year, you're kind of doing a different format with the bikes and the quads separating on different days. You want to talk about that and all that?
Yeah. So obviously anybody that was at the races last year seen how much we grew, and I contribute a lot of that to COVID. I know it was hard on a lot of people's businesses, but on ours, it was just kind of helped us because it got people back out into the outdoors and doing things and coming to races. So 2 days was something we was kind of forced to do. I held off on it as much as I could just because in my eyes, a local series is something you can go and do in one day, and you don't have to drag the camper out and all that extra fuel expense and all that. So I held off on it as long as we could, but it was kind of the inevitable. It had to happen just because of facilities were getting too tight, and then just it's about impossible to get that many races in on one day. If one little thing happens and throws you off schedule, well, you're off schedule the rest of the day. You can never gain that time back. And I mean, we literally tried everything. We got rid of the parade lap for the micros, and it didn't help. It helped we a little bit. So 2 days. And then the big question when we went to 2 days was how we was going to do it. I think everybody that was preaching go 2 days kind of thought I was going to follow suit and do, quads on Saturday and bikes on Sunday. And I knew in the back of my head, if we went that route, I wasn't doing it that way. And it could be a mistake. Honestly, don't know. That's one of the main reasons that I've done it this way is because I've not seen anybody else do it this way.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, 2023, we might have to switch it and follow suit with everybody else. Like I said, this could be a mistake. I don't know, but we're going to give it an honest try. I had 3 good points that I argued it. One being that the bike guys all now have fresh track, which is something they usually don't because they're, racing after quads. So they got to pick a quad rut. I am a quad guy, but still I know riding a bike, if you've got to pick basically one side of the track or the other to ride through, that's obviously challenging, especially if it's slick out and you start getting that, I call it a crown, but you start getting that, you get that center build up. So that was my one point. My second point on it was now these bike guys can get home on Saturday night and they can have their day off Sunday to relax, wash bike, whatever. In the past, it's always been kind of the quad thing. And then, like I said, it hasn't been done before. So we was going to try it. And then kind of my third argument sake on it was just because we have so many other local series.
Yeah.
Now you can run 2. Or 3 or whatever whatever you want to try and do. Right here in the Morgantown area, we're fortunate enough that we have 2 local series. Plus, you have the GNCC that has 6 now that are basically within 2 hours, so you can hit half of those. So we have a ton of racers that try to do that. They try to run more than one local series and run nationals. Yeah. So I said, heck, let's try it this way. Now you can run my series. You can run another series. You can, still obviously hit the nationals because they're on separate weekends, but
and probably as a track promoter. So probably as a track promoter with your bikes running on Saturday and then your quads coming through and kind of cleaning up all the ruts and stuff for you on Sunday. Then that way, when you come back next time, because a lot of times you run these some places twice, it might help you out.
Right. Yeah. And it does. That's another thing as well. The track cleanup on Sunday night is not as bad, or, the following week, if I have to take the dozer around there and fix ruts, I'm only dealing with, a center rut and a berm versus a bunch of bike ruts. And I don't know how it works. It's just kind of odd, but a quad will actually fill all the bike ruts back in. And then, I don't know, for some reason, it seems like they don't leave a berm. I think it's probably because they're not, actually trying to ride on the berm, and they're more just kind of twisting and spinning. So it almost flattens the berms out. And basically, it'll just spin all the soil out from behind this. Instead of leaving a berm behind them, it kind of they spin it all out, and it kind of levels itself back out. Mm-hmm. So in my eyes, I think it's better on the track as well. Like I said, that was just a couple points. Yeah. And I don't know. I tell guys all the time that there is no how to run a race series for dummy handbook that you can go out there and buy. So a lot of this stuff, I just sit back and I say, okay, this is why I think it'll be better to do it this way, and we try it. And it's not always right. Sometimes, we got to try stuff differently or go to the more common ways.
And I've always liked running your races before as a quad guy. It gives it a unique perspective of a track going like that first lap when you have all the dirt bike ruts, and it kind of almost helps you that first lap you were always able to kind of use it as kind of like a sight lap, I guess, because the race line hasn't developed yet, and you're really just kind of just looking at the track. And then the next lap, okay, it's go time because 100 bikes or so has went through there and cleaned it all up, and it's kind of primed and ready to go. So it was always kind of a cool thing running your series with that different type of feel to the track itself. And I know you wanted to hold on to the 1 day format as long as possible, but man, I remember running that series all year, the 2020 season. I feel like when you talk about the COVID boost, that's really when it started in the 2020 season. Yeah. And I remember parking was a premium at some of these events, and I'm sure it helps out with that issue as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. like you said, 2020 is when that COVID kind of started it, and then 2021 just basically finished it off. If you guys didn't make it out to any last year, yeah, it was even worse. Parking, trying to keep stuff on time, just everything. I mean, our stress level, all the employees that we have, it was bad. So
Yeah.
The last 3 of 2021 that we did the 2-day format, it was like, it was actually enjoyable again, as bad as I hate to say that, but
Right.
towards the middle of the season last year, like we weren't having any fun at it anymore. It was, I know it is my job, but it was like one of those jobs you don't like going to.
Right.
And once we got that 2-day format, man, it was almost smooth sailing. Like, even some of my guys, they was like sitting back for like, did we really have 15 minutes before the next start? I'm like, yeah, like they're gonna hamburger, like relax. Like, one of my guys that track sweeps for me, he didn't make it to the first 2-day event. He come up to the second one, and he was sitting there between the youth quad start and the adult quad start. He was like, so is this what you guys do? You sit around for 20 minutes before the start? I'm like, yeah, because we can. Like, we have time. It's just so much less stress on everything. Even at the last race up there at Melinda and Bobby's place.
Yeah.
It was a mutter. It was, not the worst one we've seen, but it was definitely muddy. And I think, except for like maybe the youth bike start, we kept everything on time. And I think the youth bike start was like 10 minutes off, maybe.
Yeah.
So, we have scheduled so much time between races now that I can literally go get the dozer and fix track between the races if need be. We went up and took a whole section out for the micro bikes and rerouted it for the youth bikes. And I don't mean like just change a piece of ribbon. We literally took all the arrows down, cleaned it up like if we was leaving on Sunday night, and built a whole other section. And then, like I said, got down there and started the youth bikes, maybe 10 minutes behind. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then, the work Sunday night, it's actually helped me there as well. We used to cram them all in on Sunday, and then
Everything was after dark.
yeah. And then, me and my staff, we were so wore out Sunday. It was like my kind of saying was, pick anything up that the wind or the rain will ruin, and let's go home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so we would thrash and get canopies and anything that, the rain could hurt speakers or whatever, hurry up, throw them inside of trailers, and poof, we was gone because we was wore out. And then that left basically all of that work for me on Monday and Tuesday. I'd have to go back up basically by myself. Sometimes I'd have a helper, but I would go up, and there I am Monday, Tuesday, sometimes even into Wednesday, picking up trash and arrows and ribbon and folding up, canopies and banners and tents and whatever it is. But now that we're on 2 days, Sunday we're done by, I think, 2:00. So all my guys are still raring and ready to go. So we literally went out, and we have a system now that at 2:00 when the checkered flies, we all take a box and strap it on the front of our four-wheeler, and in the bottom of the box, it's wrote 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, etc. And whatever box you grab, that's the mile of track you have to pick up. And I can literally have track picked up, the track, arrows, and ribbon, and the trash. And usually can have my father-in-law and the skid steer reclaiming the field and parking area. And I can almost be loaded up and pulling all of my trailers back to my shop by like 6:00 Sunday night.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it made us like so much more efficient because we're just not wore out. We're not stressed. We're not like, there was like days on Sunday where it was a 2-day or it was a single day that it would be dark and we would still be out there trying to just pick up whatever we could. Like I said, that we didn't want the wind to ruin. And then we was just like, we just want to go home. And, and half the time, me and the wife, we was just staying at the track. Like the camper was already there. It was like, all right, guys, you can go home, and me and Sarah will handle it. And, because I'm trying to keep them guys out there into the wee hours on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 2 days, I'm hoping that it's, going to be that smooth sailing this year as well.
I think it will. I think it will for sure, Brandon. I remember in 2020 season, towards the end of the year, Richie would come up to the ATV start, and you could tell just wore out and just aggravated and tired. And then you hand him the bullhorn and the track description, and he was just like, okay, let's go. I am exhausted.
Yeah, and it it got even worse there last year.
Right.
And I was trying not to let my impatience, I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, my impatience rub off or come out like over the loudspeaker when I was talking to somebody. But like I said, when you've had a long day and you're literally, I mean, I was literally just getting cussed over anything and everything. Most of the stuff was, out of my control, and just like, and it over time, it takes a toll on you. I mean, I've been doing this since 2013, which in the long scheme of things is not a long time, but it just, last year I was like, man, I'm done. Like, I can't wait till either we go to 2 days or till the season's over. Like, I'm getting burnt out. I'm getting tired of being, yelled at and cussed and all that. So the 2 days, like I said, I'm hoping it puts the fun back into it.
Right.
So,
and speaking of putting fun back into it, I saw where you guys are adding the Stasic race now.
That's awesome.
I'm keeping points and everything for it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was something else, we thought we'd try this year. We was on the fence about, like, now that we have all this extra time Saturday nights, what are we going to do? Guys were, messaging me, hey, let's have pit bike races, or are you going to do the electric bikes, the EMBT bikes?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Pit bike racing is fun, but in my eyes, it needs to be like in the field so all the spectators can see it. And that's hard when you have, a hay field that a farmer is going to make hay off of the next year. So you're trying not to take a dozer out there and build jumps or, what have you. And then the EMBT thing, I was like, man, are we really getting that many in this area? I checked some other local series results, and it was, 5, 6, maybe 10. And I was like, is it going to be worth it for all that? I'm not out to make money off of it, but still, it's still going to be time and money invested in awards and all that. So we went with the Stasic there last year, and it was awesome. Kids loved it. Parents loved it. So this year, everybody's asking me about it, and I was like, yeah, we're going to do some. We're going to do them at select events. We'll do 3, 4, whatever. And then I asked Sarah, I was like, well, why don't we just keep points? I was like, yeah. I don't know how, I don't think GNCC takes it that serious. And I don't know about the other couple local series that are running them. But like when we ran those last 2, we literally did it just like a full blown race.
Right.
The only difference was you didn't start on the actual starting line, and it was free to do. We give you a transponder. We signed you up. We started the first class. We then started the second class. The results, when you come underneath the check-in, your transponder was picked, or maybe we didn't do transponders. We just keyed them in. But either way, you had full laps. We could print you out lap times. You had adjusted times so you could see your overall. Like, we did it like a full-blown race. The only difference was, like I said, it was free, and you didn't get to take off the actual starting line. I mean, we go down there at the green flag. We yell 10 seconds. We pull them up on the podium. We treated it like a full-blown race,
That's
which
awesome.
is what I wanted to do, because that's, those kids are looking up to their either older siblings or their parents and seeing their, race. So they want theirs to feel the same and just as important, and in which it should be.
That's awesome.
So I was like, we're already doing all that. I said, and the software keeps track of points. It's literally like a couple extra mouse clicks.
Yeah.
I was like, let's keep points. And,
right.
And we talked about it. Sarah's like, yeah, it's easy to do. Like, let's do it. And I was like, man, I think that'll be awesome, because then these kids, like, yeah, they're racing a Stasic for fun, but now there's kind of like a prize at the end of it all. Like, if they stay with it and they're consistent, it'll be just like, big brother or big sister or what have you. They get to get up at the end of the year on the banquet and, thank and get their reward and everything. So yeah, we're going to do a full blown Stasic. I think we're just going to call it a Stasic championship this year. It'll still be free to come and race them. The only cost you're really going to have in it is paying for your food at the end of the year for the banquet, and you'll get to come and get a championship for. We're only going to do 2 classes, just the size of the bike, and right. I don't fool them, so I don't know what they are. What are they? Are they a 16-inch and a 12-inch?
Yeah, 16 and 12. Yeah, okay. And you probably have like your maybe some young 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and older 5-year-olds on your 16, and then everybody down on your 12-inch. So yeah, that's pretty cool. How long are the tracks for the Stasics? Is it like how long are lap times?
I really don't know what the lap times were. I never asked Sarah, and I never, of course, looked at them. But we just try to do it right there in the field, and that was one of the things that, like, I talked to the parents there at the first race. I said, you guys tell me. Like, I don't have a kid on this. I've never been around it. I've never even seen it done, except for at the Nationals, and that was years ago at the time when they was just running them up pro row and back, years and years ago. I said, so I don't know what to do. So my first track was a little long. It was all field, but it was like the whole entire pit field, and they circled and came back. And then I run them for 15 minutes, which was a little too long. Or no, I think we raced them for 20 minutes.
Oh, that's a battery change.
Yeah. So we raced them for 20 minutes. And at that first one, of course, it was warm out. We didn't have any that I know of, like, big battery change ordeals. We had just kids, the hands are starting to hurt. Yeah. Because they're holding on to them handlebars vibrating for 20 minutes. So at the last one down there at Melinda's place, we dropped it to 15 minutes. Track was shorter, and that was still a little too long. And I don't think it was so much the kids getting tired. At that race, it was cold. I mean, it was in like the 30s, so they were killing batteries.
No.
Hey, speaking of Melinda's place, you mentioned potential possibility of pit bike races. I saw today Bobby does have a skid steer at his house, so that could be a project for him to be working on the last round pit bike race.
We're real good friends.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mr. Rittenhouse.
I've seen that same post today. I figured that was coming because when I had our last race down there, Melinda was like, Bobby really wants a skid steer. How do you like yours? And I told her, I said, it's going to be here for a couple of weeks because I was waiting for the place to dry up so I could reclaim. I was like, it's going to be here for a couple of weeks, time to use it. Oh no, I'll never get him out of it if I do that. I said, I don't care, Melinda, let him run it. I said, he'll just have to put fuel in it because there's not a lot in there. So I when that post come up, it didn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise
us.
Maybe
we can do a little pit bike race down there. Like I said, I try not to tear fields up, and if you're going to do a pit bike race, you need to be in the field, and you need, like, what are they going to do? Just ride circles? Like, they need an obstacle or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was kind of why I shied away from the pit bike race, because it'd be easy to do it in the woods, but I don't feel like we'll get any spectators really watch it. Like,
right.
Because it's Saturday night and they're going to be, getting kids ready for bed. They're going to start dinner, etc. So
right. Yeah. So, is there any new tracks on the schedule this year that you haven't been to before, or is everything old hat at this point?
Yeah, we've got one new one, which is down in Buchanan at the big haunted house they have down there.
Okay.
The newer haunted house, not the asylum.
Right.
This one is, and I always pronounce it wrong. It's Maniac Mountain.
Okay.
It's not too far out of Buchanan, actually. Like, you turn left, you get off the interstate and go up past like the Lowe's and the Buffalo Wild Wings. It's up in there, like, I think 4 miles. So it'll be a good property. There's like 800 acres there.
Oh, wow.
So, and the parking is like, you could probably shoot a laser or transit on it and it'd be perfectly level all the way across it.
Wow.
It's just, you pull in off the blacktop and it's just like perfectly flat level. So it ought to be good. That unfortunately is my only new one for this year.
That's exciting.
It wasn't for lack of trying. I had 7 tracks wrote down to go look at, and I looked at 5 of the 7, and only one of them worked out, unfortunately. So there's a lot to it when you're looking at property, roads in and out, fields for parking.
I'm sure parking and roads in and out is probably one of the toughest things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I looked at one and they had plenty of parking, but they didn't have enough woods to support it. Like, we rode around the woods they had and a few trails, and I tripped it, and I was like, well, there's 2 miles here. And I'm like, I could run the youth, I could run the micros or the youth here. I'm like, but I don't, like, there's not enough here. And then it was
7-minute lap times.
it was red clay. It was fresh red clay. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if we get any rain on this, it'll be awful. So maybe next year. Like I said, I'm always looking. I usually look at 2 or 3 every year. But unfortunately, usually 1 out of the 3 or 1 out of the 4 are all that work, just because of like we discussed, parking and track and whatnot.
Yeah.
You ever think about trying to do a local full gas sprint, like a sprint enduro series?
Series or like a one-off race?
Well, like a one-off race,
Yeah.
or like maybe like a 3-rounder. I mean, I know the guy's, he's got plenty of time. You know what I mean? No, they're really fun. I really have a really good fun with that stuff.
I've never really put a lot of thought into it. This would have been back in like 2020 or 2019. Of course, when we were still single day, I had a good friend and a sponsor of ours actually talk to me about it. He's like, you're already there on Saturday. If you have the field section set up, like just run a sprint style race, like just do it there in the field and put a small woods loop on it. Like you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I think you'd help draw the sprint style racers there, and then hopefully if they're there they'll stay for the hare scramble stuff. And I was I listened to it with open ears, but my biggest problem with any of that is time. I'm one man show the week prior. I have tons of help Saturday or Sunday, but everybody basically has full-time day jobs, so during the week I'm just kind of one man, or I have one guy that helps me, so it's just so hard to get all that stuff done as it is. And now trying to throw something else in, I'm like, no, I don't have time. Like there's no way.
Those types of racing seem to involve a lot of rolls of tape too.
Yeah,
there's a lot
of steak and tape, but it's all worth it, man. It's all worth it.
Right. Yeah, listen to Brandon. It's all worth it, huh?
And I've never been to one before.
Oh,
I've never been to one, so I don't know how it works. Do you get penalized if you take over a stake? Because I feel like you should, because that's all there is stakes and rolls of ribbon. Like it's
very frowned upon. Just say that. Very frowned upon.
Well,
it's also very frowned upon if you do it at a motocross track. I know that firsthand.
It is.
Well, maybe it's just our local guys are, not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. They're not disciplined enough to not run them over because
they take
bikes or quad guys at one of my races, I think they purposely run them over. Like, I mean, it can be a straight shot out of the woods, straight across the field, and straight back in, and they'll mow them all over. And quad guys, I can understand because they're wide. You're trying to pass somebody, and not only that, you can run it over, and it's not going to hurt you. But I've seen bike guys run them over. I'm like, how can I not get you in the leg? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't hit it straight square with the front tire, and you happen to be off just a little bit, how's that thing not getting you in the leg or in the radiator? But I see them mow them over all the time. It's like, it's unreal. So I always wondered that. I was like, do they penalize them guys? Because they should, because that's my other point. I would not want to be out there. I wouldn't want to drive the stakes. Like driving them the first time would be all right, especially if you had a crew of guys. But then I feel like you'd have to set out there. You have to have a couple guys sitting out there with a bundle of stakes and a hammer during the day, just kind of babysitting. So when one guy broke one, you could hurry up, pound it back in. Because you'd have to keep up on that stuff, because it's not, I mean, the turns would eventually just all get straight, right?
Yeah. You know how these racers are. Everything's you gotta search the edges for every, the fast lines, right?
Yep. Exactly.
At least with when you have hay bales available, those are nice. Those are a little bit hard to cut tight, huh?
That's right. Well, that's why if you notice my field sections, I hate field sections.
I know you do.
Because of speed and getting somebody hurt, and then just trying to keep them honest and make them go around it. If you just drive stakes, they're just going to take them over, and then you got to have somebody out there basically babysitting, putting them back up. So my field sections, I'm always like, hay bale, tree, big rock, tire, something to force them around that they're not going to run over.
Yeah.
If there was 100 hay bales out there, we'd zigzag them all day long. That doesn't bother me, because I know they can't tear it down, they can't straighten it out. But just to do a strictly only ribbon and stakes, I can't imagine.
I really tried.
Hey, so Richie, we appreciate, Mountain State coming on to this show and sponsoring this show. Obviously, Mountain State is near and dear to our hearts as well. And we wanted to let you know that because of you, we actually have been able to give the opportunity to a couple of riders that are going to race your series this year for the free gate passes to help and support them. And so we're going to be helping and supporting Levi Myers, who runs the Pro ATVs series Series this year. And then Hayden Jones on the dirt bike side, he runs C16 to 21, although he had a little bit of an accident the other day, so he's going to be missing the first race or so. Yeah, so I guess a stick ran through his boot.
Ooh.
And he's got stitches on the bottom of his foot right now. Yeah. So
Ooh. I'll say they just messaged. I know both those families and riders, both, great. I was going to say kids, but I know he's no kid. But, both great guys, great families. I did not hear that about Hayden. His mom actually just messaged us about class and what class he could run in and whatnot, just like Tuesday or maybe Monday. So maybe that was for the next race or the third round, not the first one.
I was talking to Bub just 2 days ago, and I think it was actually last night when when that happened. But
okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was Monday morning or Tuesday morning, because he did really well at the GNCC, and that's what they was asking about classes. Like, he did well with this one, what class, yada yada. So we was talking to him about that. So yeah, that makes sense. It wasn't last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's great. I'm glad those passes went to somebody that, is going to support us and is going to use them like that, and not somebody that doesn't have a clue what racing is and will just kind of toss them.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we gave them to people that we knew were going to run the whole series, and people that typically run the series a lot. Along with that, we're going to be following them and highlighting their racing series when they're racing the Mountain State this year. So, like we said, we appreciate you guys being on the show, and I'm actually looking forward to.
You're actually going Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to be going Sunday. Yeah. My a cousin of mine is racing his first race on an ATV, so I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of help him out and show him the ropes a little bit.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, they any new timer, I'm sure, or first timer could definitely welcome any extra support and tips. That's good. Yeah. I'll get you guys some more swag and stuff sent over your way too. I just been super busy these last 2 weeks, just swamped with everything in the race series and titles, and then some, that 4x4 I've bought, and then my motorcycle side-by-side shop. So I'll get you some more stuff sent over. That I was hoping that stuff made it in time.
It did. And I don't know if you've been able to see the live show tonight just yet, but the banner that we have back here, Brandon and I were just talking because we were wanting to eventually put wallpaper up. But if we did get enough cool banners like this, we won't have to.
We don't have to.
We're good to go.
Right. Yeah, I checked in on the live stream there and checked it out. I was afraid. That's why I messaged you earlier. I was afraid it was going to be too big and it was going to look like I was being obnoxious and trying to have the biggest spot back there. But I honestly, I didn't have anything like readily available that I could send you that had just my logo on it. Everything either had like my logo and then said, check out our next race and had a date, or had the sponsor's logo attached beside it. Everything was geared that way. And I was like, well, I can make them something, which is fine. Like, I can definitely do that, but they won't have it quickly. And that backdrop, that was actually the very first backdrop we ever used on a podium. So that would have been like, I think 18 was the first year we started the podium stuff. So, and it had been laying upstairs in the attic for, since the end of 18. And I was like, well, we're probably not going to do anything with this. Like, I was just saving it because I didn't want to throw it, but I didn't know what else to do with it. It's too big to hang up anywhere at my spot. So my wife got the scissors out, and I was like, just cut the logo out and we'll send it to them. And if that's, too big and it's not going to work, like we'll make them something and get that on their way.
Well, it looks perfect back here. So we like it. Right? No. You can still, well, you're blocking a little bit, but you if you've seen the logo before, you know what that logo is for sure.
Right.
Before we let you go, I'm glad you mentioned it. How is the 4x4 racing going? And are you racing the full GNCC series?
Yes, I'm going to try to run the full series, minus Florida, just because I had no desire to get down there and race in sand. I've done it before on everything else. I've raced the bike in it, I've raced the side-by-side in it, I've raced the sport quad in it, and I'm like, I know what it's like. I have no desire to race anything in it, let alone a 4x4. So I elected to skip Florida. I'm going to try to hit all of the other ones. So far it's going good. Had a little mishap at the first one, which was on my fault, and as embarrassing as it is to say, I will say that I did not get the radiator cap all the way tight.
Oh.
It popped off about the 5 mile marker. Luckily, on the Can-Ams there, like where it fell, it could not get out. So it was still under there. So at the 5, I ripped the plastic off because it was, spraying antifreeze. I thought just the radiator hose was busted. Realized it was a cap. There was a track marshal there. He had 2 bottles of water. I threw it in it, put the cap on it, took back off. But of course, I was in 10th out of 10 by that time, or 10th out of 12, however many it was. So I turned a heater, turned a fast lap, and got it back to 6th, and that was it. After I kind of beat myself to death turning the fastest lap I could, which the wife let me know it was like a minute or 2 minutes faster than everybody else in the class or something crazy. Well, that was it. That did me in basically. After that, I pushed so hard, and then I was done. So my 4th lap, I was like, oh, my back's locked up. I can't do it. And the pros got me 10 seconds before the finish line.
Nice.
I missed staying out on my final lap by 10 seconds. Skipped Florida, so round 3 there last weekend. It went really well. No mechanicals, just a bad start. Got out in the loom or whatever you want to call it, the mud on the outside of the turn, and you can like literally watch the quad. It looks like somebody just grabbed a hold of it, pulled it down, and slowed it down. It's just like, I got in the second turn. It was in the second turn. I got pinched because I'm a little timid on starts, and I've always been that way, especially now in the 4x4, just because I don't want it on top of me. It's big and heavy.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is,
get off.
yeah. And I'm not one of them guys that, gets in there and thrashes and bumps around and plays bumper cars with them. I don't treat my own stuff like that. I don't want to treat somebody else's stuff like that. So I'm kind of timid on the starts, and that kind of, hurt me. I got out, pinched to the outside, got stuck in the soft mud. And then I literally rode behind. I was in 10th out of 11th and rode behind 9th place for the whole first lap. And I was, once again, I'm not going to hit him, and I'm not going to yell because he's in my class.
Yeah,
so I was just kind of, he was holding me up a little bit, and I couldn't get around him. Just the track down there, I honestly thought was really tight and not a lot of passing. So just couldn't get around him. Finally there, as I started the second lap, I got around him, and I started picking a few of them off. So I got up to the second spot there. So I'm hoping for round 4, if I can get a good start and stay with the lead pack, I think I'll be right there when it comes all said and done.
See, Brandon, you're right. Now that he's going to the 2-day format, he has all kinds of time racing the full GNCC series.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. That's what my buddy said. He's like, dude, how you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? I was like, I don't know. I was like, just trying to run a full season and work on this thing and work on, the tracks. And that is actually one of the things I'm hoping is, now that we are 2 days, and like I said, all my great staff, they're all kind of still full of, go get it there Sunday night. Oh, and they helped clean up. I'm hoping we can continue that trend into this season. So if they get a bunch of track, or we get a bunch of track cleaned up, then that'll free me up Monday and Tuesday. I won't have to go back out there and work all day cleaning track up. So then I can kind of concentrate on the 4x4. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, Richie, one last question before we let you go. How do you like the split line fantasy so far?
I like it. As bad as this is to say, I'm super confused about it. Like, I couldn't figure it out. So me and the wife, we sat down there Sunday night when we got back from Georgia, and I was like, all right, so I had to go back through your guys' Facebook and find like the rules there where it explained it. And I was like, okay, so I think I got it now. Like, I was just picking top 3 that I thought was going to win.
There was a lot of
handicap. I just thought the handicap was going to be, instead of them getting the full points, they was going to get -3 points or minus whatever their handicap was.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so, that little handicap, no big deal, whatever. I'm going to pick the top 3. So then I'm like, man, I'm not doing something right here. Like, this isn't working. So then Sarah starts reading it, and she's like, I think if they got a handicap of 3rd and they get 3rd, well, then they get points for like 6th if it's a -3 or something. I was like, holy mackerel. I'm like, did this just get confusing? So I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out here, but I'll have to sit down and figure it out, get my picks in for South Carolina.
So basically what it is, like, if a guy is a 4 handicap, and let's say he gets 5th place, he's going to get 4 positions up. So he's going to get first place points. And then where you get into like the big points is those guys that are potentially out of the top 20, but potentially in the top 20. So it's kind of a risk reward. Like if they're outside the top 20, they get 0 points. But if they get in the top 20 and they have like a 22 handicap, that could put them to the first place points and then get bonus points.
Yeah.
So that's how that works. We kind of wanted to use it as a tool to highlight the guys that aren't on the overall podium all the time, to where like your overall podium guys could be a solid pick, but like your big point guys are the guys that are fighting for that top 20. Like Steve Harrell. Yeah, exactly. He's been a huge point scorer in our
like
league.
How many people probably have never heard of Steve Harrell's name until fantasy?
Yeah, exactly. No, you're exactly right. So that's
you're right, because I've never heard of him.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now he's a huge pick always, but if he keeps doing really good, his handicap's going to go down. It's going to go down.
Right.
So
it threw me there for a little bit, and then of course I didn't get any picks in for the first one. The first round, just because I've never done it before. I've never played fantasy anything, not fantasy Supercross, not fantasy baseball or whatever they do over there. I don't know. I don't watch anything that doesn't have a motor involved, so I don't know anything about any of those other sports. So I was like, fantasy, whatever. And then after the first one, and you guys, talking about it, whatnot, and I was like, well, this can't be that hard. Like, you just pick the top 3. Who you think are going to be the top 3? And I'm like, well, it's going to be Fowler. He's definitely going to be in the top 3. It's just which spot. So then I threw my picks in for the second one and the third one, and I was like, something isn't adding up here. Like, I'm not getting any points. Like, what's going on? So, I'll try to get it figured out here for the fourth round.
What's really cool that we've noticed real quick is that so many people have, like, the teams are so different that everybody's picked that. So it's like hardly anybody ever scores the same amount of points. Yeah. So it's a lot of, it's made it a lot of fun in that sense. But,
and of course we always bring the quad and bike guys together.
Yeah, exactly. That's how
part.
that's our style with the whole podcast and now the fantasy. We've had guys come on and or message us, can I just do it for dirt bikes? Like, well, yeah, but you're only going to score half points.
Right.
So
that's what I thought. I was like, well, I'm pretty well-rounded. Like, I know quad guys, I know bike guys. I've been around it all. I've been around basically all of it. So my picks ought to be pretty good. And then, like I said, I just wasn't scoring any points. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? And I'm like, I must not understand this handicap.
Yeah,
so
now you
I got to figure it out now, hopefully.
There you go. Now you got to deep dive and know those guys that are fighting for that top 20.
Yeah, which I don't see me having enough time to really do all that. Everything else is going on. So I'll probably just shoot from the hip and hope for the best.
That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, Richie, we're going to let you go. As always, appreciate you on the show, and we'll have you on again maybe mid-season, see how everything's going, and I'll be looking for you Sunday, hopefully without a raincoat on.
Oh, yes, hopefully. Yes, that's what we're praying for. Yeah, come track me down Sunday, and we'll shoot the BS. Like I said, we got a lot more time through the races now.
Yeah, so, sounds like you got a lot of time. I'll be
a lot easier to track down and talk to, because I know a lot of guys are like, I can never find you at the race. Because I'm always doing something. So, we'll hopefully we'll see you Sunday without the raincoat. And anytime you guys want me on, I'm more than game to jump on. I'm great at BSing. So.
That's why this show was so long tonight, because we had two of the best. Yeah, we have two of the best BSers in the business.
Right. Yeah, I listened to Stu there for a little bit. He was really laying it down. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Which I know that's his style. He doesn't care. I mean, it is what it is. So that's cool. But I was like, man, I hope we don't get in trouble when you guys start talking about salaries and this and that. I was like, because he's exactly right. It's all kind of like hush hush, and so.
Yeah, we enjoy having him on, trying to break the mold a little bit and liven things up around here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, all right, man. Well, I'll see you Sunday, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Awesome, thank you guys.
All right, talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was a good show.
Man, that was a good show.
Yeah,
Brainerd, you keep looking at your watch.
Yeah,
you got
it's 10 after 9.
You got
It's
you got somewhere to be or
my
something?
house, and
I mean, can you at least wait
the
until
wife is probably like gonna give me that look when I come through the door. Like,
I mean, she's seen you.
she's
I can see her there watching.
She's watching right now. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Doug Kirk, he's asking where Devin was. Unfortunately, Devin
He
had
drives
some
one
vehicle.
of those. I think he drives a Chevy, but I was hoping he was going to drive a Ford or something. But
yeah, he had some vehicle problems and kind of got stranded. So I hope I better check on him. We might need to go tow him or something.
right.
But we'll have Devin on again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it on tonight. We really look forward to having him on tonight. He'd have probably would have been a 3-hour show at that point.
Right.
So, and then another thing we need to touch on is Walker Taylor talked about how he had a pretty bad crash and he was going to send us the video. So send that to us.
Yeah.
And let us see it. I think it was on a pit bike or something.
Really?
I heard he talked about it
Those
on
pit bikes will get you hurt.
Yeah.
Real quick. Real fast.
Yeah, you think you can send it a
You're
little harder than
Superman, right?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
this thing is small.
Exactly.
Do whatever I want.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So before we go, Brandon, you're going to read the. You got the sponsors?
Before I go,
come on, sponsors. Sponsor.
no, you're good. No, it's been a great show. So we're going to end it up with.
I got to find the music. That's what it was. I'm making you do it.
Put me on the spot and stuff. No, yeah. So we'd like to thank Guts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about it. If you were wanting to build a good bike, right? If you had a dream bike to build, you know, you want that gut seat cover.
Absolutely.
Looking good.
Looking
now
fresh.
You want to protect that suspension with the seal savers. And then you want reliability and cool looking sprockets and chains, right?
Yeah.
When you're out racing,
yeah.
You know, with that bling. And then now XC gear with the Mako 360 bar, little extra cushion on top.
For the bike or the quad?
And take away that vibration, good smooth ride. And then, you know, why not go ride at a Mountain State Hare Scramble?
Absolutely.
This
was the best sponsor read ever.
Exactly.
It was the best sponsor read ever. You did good. You did good.
So think about that. When you're sleeping tonight or after you listen to this, be dreaming about that bike.
And listening to this show, you can darn near build that bike if you win all these products. Because we gave a Guts seat cover away last week. This coming week, we're going to be giving away a Mako 360.
Oh, boy.
For fantasy.
I'm winning.
And guess what?
I'm taking my name. I'm going to sign up as like Billy Joe.
You want to hear what's cool about this one?
What's that?
I was talking to Lance. You don't have to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to win. You don't need to win the race this weekend or the fantasy this weekend. All you have to do is enter a team into play, and we're going to pick it randomly.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So so we're excited to have that on board, and
it's a quad one, right? Is that for a quad? Or
well, it's going to be whoever wins, bike or quad.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you guys are going to be able to. Man, those Makos, they're nice.
I'm telling you, I'm signing up as a. I don't know, Billy Joe Horton or something. I don't know.
Billy Joe Horton.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so it's
awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be a good week. Fantasy handicaps will be coming out Saturday.
Yeah.
As always, I know this between round 2 and round 3, you know, we had to kind of hurry up, and the handicaps came out like I think Sunday night or Monday night as fast as I could get them out.
Right.
But from here on out, since it's a week in between, the handicaps will always come out the Saturday before the races. That way you have one full week to enter your team and select your team. And if you guys haven't played before, all you got to do is send us your picks on Instagram or Facebook, and you'd be crazy not to, because now you can win these awesome products.
And it's not a championship. It's weekly.
It's weekly.
Racy.
Yes. So we're going to have some cool championship prizes this year.
Right.
But next year, it's going to be a whole new ball game.
Speaking of it, we got stickers on the way.
Stickers are on the way.
And shirts?
Shirts are on the way. We have 2 sweet shirt designs. And we're going to find out. We have a little bit of an inner battle here.
What was that movie? It was like Team J. What was that back in the day? It was like about the vampires or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's like Team Jacob or Team something.
Oh, yeah.
Team Brandon. So that's going to be Team Brandon.
Team Brandon, Team Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah, I am a fan of the navy blue shirts.
Yeah.
Brandon over here is a fan. And now I like both.
Yeah, I do too.
I like both. Brandon's more of a fan of the red shirt.
Right. I mean, my favorite color.
Canary red, if
That's
you will.
right.
Yeah.
Stand out,
Stand
look
out,
good.
puff the chest
Little bit.
like that. so those shirts will be in. We got 50 shirts ordered
Right.
in all sizes.
All sizes.
So you got from small
Extra small.
to 2. No, we don't got extra small. If you guys want kids shirts, we can order those though.
Right.
We have small all the way up to 2XL. We'll be posting an image of them. They'll be $20 a piece. If you guys are interested, we're not interested in making money on these shirts. We want to get them out there
Right.
and let you guys have them. So $20, just easy T-shirt buy. We'll figure out a way for payment, and we will ship them to you as soon as they come in. And if you guys like them, we'll order more, and we'll throw some stickers with the shirt.
Wow.
Free stickers.
Free stickers.
Yeah, we know
This is like a game show.
and you win, and you win.
This is a game show.
we know
geez.
you guys as racers love stickers.
Oh man, my kid loves stickers.
Back in the day, how many stickers did I have on that YFZ?
Oh, a lot.
Because I didn't have enough money for a graphics kit, so I just put stickers on it.
It was just covering up all the scars.
Yeah. This sticker should hold the hold the
tire on.
plastic together.
Like Colton, every time he gets a sticker, like he's got a set of 100% goggles the other day for his birthday. He's like pulling the sticker off, snapping it on, FMF sticker on his bicycle. I left him alone for 5 minutes, and he literally had his whole bicycle covered in stickers.
Doug Kirk, you can absolutely pre-order a couple of T-shirts.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Yes. So stickers, shirts, fantasy, giveaways.
Jeez.
I mean, good show, Brandon.
We love it.
Thanks to Stu Baylor for coming on.
Right.
Thanks to Richie Nolan for coming on. Thanks to Devin for trying to make it here.
Right.
Failing, evidently. But
it happens.
It happens. So we
Wasn't been the first time we've been ghosted.
Yeah, Devin ghosting us. He's poor guy sitting there alongside the road.
Shoot. You got that music ready? I'm sitting here rambling
I have
on.
no idea what this music is. I just typed in free music because we keep getting hit for copyrights.
Jeez.
So if this music's weird,
straighten it up over there. You're gonna be fired.
Yeah, you'd be in deep dude here. All right, guys. Episode 68. We are out. Thanks for joining us. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.